Hey Soul Family, this is Melanie the Spirit Doula, and today I'm going to talk with you guys about something, I don't even have a title for it, but I'm so excited, so we're just gonna start talking about it, okay? Okay, so I want to express this to you guys. This is so important for 2020, okay? Do not try and get through this year alone. Do not try to do this alone. Do not be in solitude, trying to get through this process. I'm talking to you, my soul family. I'm talking to, you know who you are, right? Soul family, chosen ones, you spiritual beings. This message is specifically for you. So when we talked about the year 2020, in a previous video, I told you that the year would be work, right? You have to do inner work. You have to go inside. You have to connect to your higher self, who you truly are, what your purpose really is in this current time-space reality, okay? And I told you that there were going to be some obstacles during this process, right? But I also told you that these obstacles were surmountable. Like these obstacles, you would be able to overcome them because if you are doing the work, you will get help from spirit, okay? So that is important to know. The other thing is that you're not supposed to be going through this by yourself. This is not the time to be dealing with things in solitude, not wanting to discuss or reach out for support, okay? So this is something that I really want to express to you guys. And I'm going to break down why. You guys know when I get excited, it's either like numbers or science or something. And let me tell you, about a year ago, I just started reading, doing research in quantum physics, right? I told you guys, like, I love quantum physics, and I was going more into the biology and the chemistry of it. And I came across this topic of noble gases. And so as I was reading noble gases, I was just so drawn to it. And I was really studying noble gases and like how they operate and everything. And it just it was like, that was it. I just studied it and I kind of just put it on a shelf and left it there. Well, this past week, I started channeling heavily and channeling so much information. And it was actually causing me a little distress at some points where it was just like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Like, I just, it wasn't coming together, And then, boom, like 2 days ago, things started linking up. Everything started coming together. And I was just like, what? And so, of course, I started trying to research and look up stuff and couldn't find the information. And I knew that what I was channeling was truth because it correlated to something scientific. And so basically, I'm going to delve into that today and do my best to disseminate this information to you guys so that you can receive some of this really good information, okay? So as usual, I have my notes here so that I can stay on track and to make sure that I'm explaining it to you guys in a way that is easily understandable. So get your pens, get your pads, start taking notes, or you could always rewind and rewatch this video, okay? So again, this year, there's going to be some challenges. You are feeling the urge to want information. So a lot of you went through a huge, I don't want to say awakening or becoming aware last year, right? So there are multiple levels of awakening, I believe, right? And so a lot of you went through this huge thing around the end of the summer, August, September, and you've been on this initial quest of like, what's going on with me? Now that you have some idea of what's going on with you, now you want the information. You're like searching for the information, you're Googling, you're YouTubing, you're doing the most to try to get this information, which is good. This is what you should be doing, right? You need to have this information. However, I want you to be mindful and careful about where you're getting this information from, okay? There are a lot of deceptors out here. There's a lot of information that's meant to deceive you, to confuse you, to get you off of your track, okay? So 2 things I want you to be careful of. Number 1 is the happy-go-lucky, love and light. Everything is just so wonderful. This process just is so easy and just great. And no, that anyone who is speaking like that to you, okay, it's fine that their process was so easy. Like, that's totally good, but it's not holding you accountable to doing the work that you need to do. You have to go inside this year. You can't get around it. You have to connect to you. You have to connect to your higher self. There's work to be done. It is not easy. It's not easy work, okay? So if anyone is telling you that it's easy or you don't really have to work that hard, stay away, okay? The second one are fear mongers. They're I have literally, like, on my Instagram, on YouTube, had to reconfigure things so that I'm not in that algorithm of getting people who are so doomsday-ish and so apocalyptic in their speaking, and so, you got to get your food ready, you got to get this, and you got to do this, and because what's happening is that it's inciting fear, okay? I mean, I watch some of things and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I have to do this and do that. And now I'm in a fear place. And what did I tell you guys before about being in a fear place? When you are fear, you drop your vibration all the way down, way low. And what happens when you're vibrating low? You become food to archon energy. You become food to lower vibrational entities who want to feed off of you because you have light. Your energy is so bright, okay? Which means you are a delicious meal, and they want nothing more than to feed off of you, okay? So we don't want to be learning or reading or researching anything that's causing fear within us. So you want a healthy balance. You want knowledge and truth with accountability. You need support in doing your work. You need information. You guys are looking for information right now. And I want you to be discriminating about the information that you get. You're already skeptical. You're already side-eyeing certain people and certain things. Don't doubt that, okay? So if you feel like, this just doesn't feel right, don't go with it. Remember, this has to resonate with you on a soul level, on a subatomic level. The information, the people you're speaking to, like, it has to resonate with you, right? And it will. It really will, okay? So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. Okay, so, a lot of you are also, I've received a lot of information from people who have said that they were looking for their soul family or, soulmates or twin flames. And that's natural. And I'm going to explain why that's natural, why you're doing that at this time. Being in meditations about it, you can ask to attract your soul family to you, ask to attract your soulmate, ask to attract your twin flame. You can be in an asking, receiving mode about that, and you will attract this these people to yourself at this particular time. So with all of that said, oh my gosh, so I'm excited because I'm about to get into this lesson. It is super exciting to me. I'm going to use science, more specifically chemistry, right, to explain why the soul family must connect and become stronger at this time, okay? I'm saying the soul family must connect to each other. You must link up somehow and essentially feed off of each other somehow at this particular time. And I'm going to use chemistry to prove that. Okay, so with that said, we're going to talk about noble gases. So remember I said last year that I just started researching noble gases and kind of put it on the back shelf and didn't understand why until this past week when it came up again. And what I love so much about spirit is that I will be channeling information and not fully understanding it. And then another piece of a puzzle from something from before, or maybe something in the future will come and it puts it all together. And I'm just like about to explode. Like, even right now, my heart is racing because I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Okay, reel it back in, Melanie. Okay, so noble gases. So let's do some basic science, okay? Because let's just do some basic science. Most people, didn't like science in school. It was boring, but I'm going to go over some basic things, okay? The first thing, molecule. Everyone knows what a molecule is, right? A molecule is a small particle. Everything is made up of molecules, essentially, right? And we know that inside of a molecule, we have the atom, right? And the atom is comprised of a proton, right, which has a positive charge, and an electron and a neutron. So positive and negative charges all together, right? Protons, electrons, neutrons, okay? Within that, you have something called subatomic, which you have the quarks and some other things, bosons, and stuff that I discussed in the Soul Family Part 2 video, okay? We're not going to get too much into that. So the thing that encases the molecules are called elements, okay? So what is an element? Okay. So elements basically make up the entire physical universe. Everything that you see, even some things you don't see, are made up of elements, okay? So you guys may have seen this. You know what this is? The periodic table of the elements. How many of you guys remember having to memorize these, okay? How many of you actually did memorize this, right? So the periodic table of elements, these are all the elements, physical, everything in the universe, physical universe is made up of these elements. Are these all the elements? I don't think they are. I know that there are elements that are yet to be discovered, okay? These are naturally occurring elements. Let me say that, because there are scientists that are creating synthesized elements that are, anyway, that's happening. So there are 118 known naturally occurring elements, okay? So for example, you have gold, you have silver, you have hydrogen, right? Everyone should know what hydrogen is, right? You have magnesium here, you have oxygen, okay? So these are all of the elements that make up the universe, all right? Okay, with that said, there are 112 elements that bond. Now remember I said there's 118. We're gonna talk about these 6 in a minute. But 112 elements actually bond together. What do I mean by that? For example, here's hydrogen, okay? Here's another hydrogen. What happens when you bond 2 hydrogens with an oxygen? You have H2O, right? H2O is water, right? So we have these 112 elements that naturally bond with each other, right? Because their outer shell is not so stable. And so they kind of want to bond, they want to connect to something else, right? It's almost like codependent with other elements. But it's cool because they create new elements. Fine. That is their job. That is what they do. We have wonderful things on this planet because of the combination of these 112 elements. Okay? It's almost like, well, it's a codependent relationship, right? So anyway, so back to the chart. We are discussing, what I'm so excited about are these. These are called the noble gases, or majestic gases. Why would an element be called noble or majestic, right? So we're gonna go into all of that. Okay, so there are 6. We have helium, neon, argon, radon, xenon, and I'm forgetting one. Krypton. How can I forget krypton, right? Not kryptonite, not Superman kryptonite. Well, anyway. But those are the 6 naturally occurring noble gases. There's another one that some scientists created that is very dangerous, but We're talking about the naturally occurring, okay? So noble gases have atoms. All elements have atoms, right? They have protons, right? And electrons. The difference with noble gases is that their protons and electrons are evenly balanced, whereas with other elements, they're unstable, right? They're so unstable that they want to connect with other elements, right? So hydrogen wants to connect with something else, and oxygen, because they're unstable, right? They're literally, there's atomic weights, and some weigh more than others. So they naturally want to connect, they want to bond, okay? Noble gases, they're like, we're good on our own. We are stable. We don't want to bond with anyone. We're perfectly fine. They don't naturally bond with other elements, okay? Now there's special circumstances in which they do, very rare, but naturally they're good. They're evenly balanced, okay? They're like perfect. That's why they're called noble. That's why they're called majestic, right? Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper, okay? So remember I just said that they only bond under certain circumstances? Okay, so here's a circumstance where a noble gas wants to bond with something else. There is something called photon light. Photon light, okay? This is a quantum electromagnetic force of light energy that comes from wherever it comes from, okay? This quantum electromagnetic energy basically hits the noble gas, okay? Once it hits the noble gas, this noble gas absorbs that photon light, okay? So the photon light comes from somewhere, it hits the noble gas. The noble gas absorbs it. When it absorbs it, the noble gas becomes, and I'm not making this up, guys, it becomes enlightened. Enlightened, okay? Are you following me? Okay, so now we have this noble gas that was hit by this force of light, photon light, and now it is enlightened, okay? What happens when this noble gas is enlightened is it starts vibrating faster. It starts vibrating, it's like going crazy, and the frequency of it starts to rise, okay? So it's vibrating, the frequency of it starts to rise. It's doing something that is naturally meant to do, but it's like, what is happening to me, okay? When this happens, it's basically like searching for something else to connect to bond to. But it doesn't bond with normal elements. It can only bond with what's alike to it, which is another noble gas. Okay? Are you guys kind of getting where I'm going with this? So we have this noble gas that was hit by photon light that's vibrating fast, the frequency is high, and it's like, I have to connect to another one. So then we have another noble gas that was also hit by photon electromagnetic quantum energy, light, and it's also vibrating fast. Its frequency is also raising, and they're seeking each other out. Essentially, they want to bond with each other. They can only bond with each other. They can only combine with each other. Light from light, spirit from spirit, okay? Okay, so when this happens, right, now it creates a huge, so imagine this huge light, this huge electromagnetic photon light behind it, okay? And these two things together basically create more photon energy. And now that photon energy seeks another noble gas, and it connects to that. And this noble gas becomes enlightened. And when this noble gas becomes enlightened, the vibration gets faster, the frequency raises, and it seeks to connect with another noble gas, and so on and so forth. Okay? I know some of you guys are kind of getting where I'm going with this, all right? Only a noble gas is compatible with another noble gas, period. That is just the science. That is just the pure science. It's only seeking to attract what it is like, period. Okay? Okay, when two noble gases combine, they're called excited dimers or excimers. That's what they're labeled. Okay. So an example of two noble gases, oh gosh. An example of two noble gases that combine are xenon and argon. Xenon and argon. When xenon and argon combine, they create what we know as the laser. Okay? Laser. The laser that they create is so powerful that it can cut through a steel wall. So these two noble gases create something so powerful that it can cut through steel. Do you understand that? Because they both have absorbed photon electromagnetic light. They came together and now they are powerful as a unit. All right? Okay. So what I received this week, is, so this week what happened is that the Spirit Doula Academy started last week actually, and there's this group of like-minded individuals that are now communicating with each other, and they're sharing experiences, right? And they're like, there's a little hesitancy, like, has this ever happened to you guys? And they're like, yeah, this happened to me. And now they're sharing experiences with each other, and they don't feel like crazy. You know, they can't share these experiences with their coworkers or their family because they would think like something's wrong with them. And now they have like individuals, like from like, spirit from spirit, that they're sharing information with, and they're all on the same frequency. They are vibrating the same, right? They can build each other up, okay? So when I saw a message from someone saying, wow, I finally found my soul family. You are my real soul sister because we're going through the same thing together. All of this mess, all these channelings just started coming through. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it was so revelational. And then all this information with the noble gases came through, and it was like, there it is. There it is. So what I received is that the soul family, the chosen ones, acts like noble gases. Okay? Remember what I say is that spirituality and science are not two separate things. They're not. Spirituality and science are one in the same. You can't separate the two. And science will always prove spirituality and vice versa. All right? Our ancient Kemet, ancient Maya, ancient civilizations, Atlantis, they were scientists. They were scientists. They were thinkers. They were amazing at what they did. They didn't separate it. And we can't separate it either. We have to understand this part because it correlates to who we really are. All right? Okay. So let me break down the 5 reasons why the spiritual humans, soul family, chosen ones, enlightened beings, right? Why they behave, why they are like the noble gases on this periodic table that all of you had to study in chemistry class, and maybe you guys didn't want to do this, okay? We're talking about this column here. Okay, number 1, the noble gas is complete. Just like the spiritual human is complete, okay? We come here perfect. We come here complete, okay? We have everything that we need inside of us is literally imprinted in our carbon, right? In our DNA and our genetic code. And that's another video that I'm going to get into as well. But we come here basically complete. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. This is why you are okay with being in solitude. This is why, like, you are perfectly fine, not like, you don't have to be in a religious organization. You don't have to participate in that. You don't have to be in a fraternity or sorority. You don't feel like this urge to want to belong to a group necessarily when you're going through your life. You know, going on to your company's picnics and, you know, certain activities, like you just, I'll pass. You know, you don't really go to the concerts and maybe girls' night outs or, you know, just certain things you just, you may do it. I'm not saying that you don't do it. You may do it, but it's like, I'd rather just be home, you know? You're really good on your own, okay? Noble gases behave the same way. You have always been different or unique from almost everyone around you. Oh, not so much. You may have felt separation at some times, and some of you may have even felt like you were raising yourself. You know, we love our parents, we love our grandparents for all that they did. They didn't realize who they were raising, right? And so many of you may have had jobs early. You may just have been doing for yourself at an early age, right? You just in life, you may have just been going along by yourself and been okay with it. So much so that so many in the soul family, you guys have been through the most horrific or crazy experiences, and people think, oh, she's good. She's always good. Like she'll get through it, right? Meanwhile, it's like, if anyone else went through that, they would have been lost their minds, okay? Because you are truly complete, okay? The second thing is that, this is the part that like I love. Remember I said the photon light, right? That electromagnetic energy, the photon light, when it hits the noble gas becomes enlightened. That is a scientific term. I didn't make that up. That's what chemists say. This noble gas becomes enlightened, okay? Just out of nowhere, the noble gas is just chilling, doing its noble gas thing, right? And then it's hit with photon light and it starts vibrating fast and the frequency literally starts raising, right? Okay, what does that sound like to you guys? I'll give you 5 seconds. What does that sound like? It sounds like the process of waking up. When you became awakened, many of you, or became aware, many of you, it was like out the blue, like things started happening to you, gifts started coming. You just didn't want to, I don't want to work at this job anymore. I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Something is just different, right? The ancient texts talk about the great awakening happening. What is this photon light, this electromagnetic energy? In science, there's no like true place of where it comes from, right? It's quantum. This is the quantum physics of chemistry. The same thing. Where is this coming from? Where is this? All of a sudden, this just happened. You don't really know where it came from. And what happened when you first woke up, first became awake, right? First became aware. You started vibrating faster. You became different. Your frequency went up. Okay? That's 2. Number 3, you seek out noble gases to bond. So noble gases seek out other noble gases to bond, right? The noble gas becomes enlightened. It starts vibrating high at a frequency and is looking for another noble gas. Not just anyone, it wants a noble gas. What happened to you, right? You're chilling, living your regular life. I know I was, right? I had a really nice house, a nice cul-de-sac, nice huge bedroom. We had 2 nice cars in the driveway. My girls were going to private school. I had a great job. You know, my ex-husband had a great job. Like, we were living the life. And then something happened and I was like, this is not it. I don't want none of this anymore, right? And I started seeking I was looking for someone else that was like, who else is going through this? It just can't be me. I was seeking out other noble gases. I was looking for my soul family, not knowing what a soul family was or that there was a soul family to look for. But I knew that I was different than all of my friends, than all of my church members, than all of my family members. And I want to find someone like me. Who can I talk to about this stuff? My hands are radiating. Now, if I tell my cousin that, she's going to be like, you're bugging out, right? I'm feeling the most pressure right in here. Now, who can I tell that to? And when I do tell people, they're like, oh, you're crazy. What's wrong with you? You need to go see a psychologist or something. So I don't tell anybody. But there's a desire in me to connect, just like the noble gases, okay? Number 4, when two noble gases connect, they create a power. They create more photon light, more photon energy. And they're like, hey, we got to find some more of us. Like, it's just not the two of us. Let's find some more. So they seek out to find more. And when they connect with them more, then it's more light created, more energy created. And there's more power in that, okay? Remember I told you, two noble gases create a laser that can cut through steel. Steel. That's how powerful it is. That's how powerful two noble gases are. That's how powerful two soul family members are together. So imagine more. All right? The other thing with that is that when you meet your soul family or soul family member and you guys bond and you connect, you're like, we got to find someone else. We got to find our sister, our brother. We got to connect with them and like tell them all this stuff and like teach them and help them and heal them. That's the goal. That's what you're supposed to do, right? We behave like the noble gas. Number 5. Oh, this one right here. When I read this, I had to read it a couple of times. I had to actually look at a table that had the atomic makeup and weights of the noble gases to really understand this. So when I said noble gases are perfect, right? They're evenly balanced. Not just that, they have an outer shell that is stable, and it literally protects it. It has an outer shell outside. It is the other 112 elements don't have that, only the noble gases. When I read that, immediately I was like, that's our spirit family. That's our ancestors. That's the deities. That's our protection. We are protected. The ancient texts talk about the protection of the soul family. You are protected, okay? I'll be right back. I need to get some water. Okay, I'm back. So when I read that part, I was just like, does anyone else see this? The information was so like, what? This is, okay. So let me continue. This is why we are feeling this need, soul family members, right? I'm talking to my soul family members. This is why you're feeling this need to connect. You want to find who your soul family members are. You're vibrating at such a high frequency that you just can't relate to anyone else or anything else. And you want to talk to the people that's going through the same things. You want to experience their light. This is why a soul family member can say, I love you, and it be genuine, okay? How are you? And you feel that love. You really feel it within you. It doesn't feel shallow because they really mean it. You're feeling their light energy coming to you, okay? So I want to talk about the 4 things that are happening now. Why you have to connect, okay? Why you can't be alone. Not in this year, 2020. You can't be in solitude. You have to reach out try to connect to your soul family, try to connect to teachers. You have to at this time. I'm going to tell you the 4 reasons why. Number 1, by connecting, you will find out who you truly are. You have to do this first, guys. I know you're sick of me saying meditate, meditate. I don't care if you're sick of it. I'm going to keep saying it until you get it. You have to find out who you are. How do you know your noble gas unless you really find out that, wait a minute, I am different and it's okay. I'm supposed to be, okay? You have to find out who you are. It is empowering actually, to find out that, okay, I'm okay with being this type of being. All right, number 1. Number 2, once you find out who you are, then you can truly walk in that. You can truly be the noble gas, that majestic gas that you are, okay? You can truly fully walk in it and be confident in it. All right, I walk with so much confidence in who I am now because I know who I am now. It's like, this is who I am. I speak with it. I talk about, my ancestors freely, or I talk about the different things I'm going to. I'm okay with sharing that information because I know who I am, right? I know that my gifts are real. I know I'm not crazy. This is real, okay? Number 3, then almost in desperation, you start to seek out truth. You start to seek out knowledge. You start to want to connect to your soul family, okay? That's the 3rd thing. First, you connect with yourself. You find out who you are. What is your soul mission? Why are you here, right? First thing. The second thing, once you find that out, the 3rd thing is that you're searching knowledge, and you should be searching for truth and knowledge. It's a natural occurring thing because you're trying to find out, okay, I am this being. Now what? What do I do with this? Okay. The 4th thing is that you're searching this knowledge out. You go on YouTube, you Google something, spiritual powers, I don't know, whatever it is you Googled that got you to this channel, this page, or other channels and pages, right? And the 4th thing is, I have to connect. I have to bond with these beings, with these people. I feel like I just want to know who this is, okay? Those are the 4 things that happen, all right? Let's continue. So the next part, I was having a conversation with my 16-year-old daughter, and I was telling her this because I tell my daughters everything that I get. And my daughter was like, well, mommy, that's like the X-Men. And I said, what do you mean? She was like, well, the X-Men or DC, like Doctor Strange. Like Doctor Strange was always this powerful person, but he thought he was a doctor. And then something happened, and then he went to Asia, and then he had to meditate first. And once he meditated, he found out who he was. And once he found out who he was, then he was able to start working his powers. And then he's able to start working his powers. He was with his team, his group. And I was just like, these children, they know. And so I was like, tell me some more. So we started talking about some other superheroes, and I wrote down some of the names of them. Mystique from X-Men, Scarlet Witch, Magneto, Storm, Thor, Rogue, Superman. They all went through this process of, I'm a little different here, and then connecting to themselves to find out who they were. And once they did that, their power started to increase, and they connected with a team, a group of people that were like them, right? Right? So picture I don't know, Storm or Magneto hanging out with a regular person, and Storm is like, all of a sudden she's having this thing, and the sky is getting dark. That person be like, what are you doing? Like, you're crazy. Now, if that was when that's like Magneto, or when she's hanging out with, I don't know the names of these people, then they're like, okay, Storm, calm down, or let's do, they're able to help Storm through this, right? Dr. Strange's people were able to help him through because they knew what his power was. They weren't like, what is that crazy thing he's doing with his hand? What is he talking about time travel, right? You connect to the people that are like you. Light from light, spirit from spirit, right? Okay. So let me break this down a little bit further because I want to take a further look into noble gases. So again, this is the periodic table. These are the noble gases, okay? The first one is helium. What is helium? You know what helium is, right? You have a birthday, you get some balloons, you blow up helium. What happens to the balloons? They float. Why do they float? Because they're lighter than air. The balloons literally ascend, right? Why? Because that helium, right? What is it doing? It's a noble gas. It's lighter than air, right? It's vibrating differently than what oxygen is. Oxygen is a regular element. Well, not just oxygen, there's other stuff in the air that's actually heavy. So helium ascends. Neon, that is that bright light that you see on signs. It's actually noble gases, okay? Argon, we use argon and radon to make lasers, laser beams, okay? Krypton, that's that, in your cameras, there's krypton, like the flash of light, that bright light that just exposes everything, okay? Then we have xenon. Where's xenon found? They're found in like MRI machines, radiation. That's xenon, right? That's that energy that like penetrates through your body. You don't feel the radiation, but it's doing a lot, okay? Then you have radon. Radon is used in light bulbs to brighten up the light in the light bulbs, okay? As I'm saying this, I literally just received information on why. So some of you, and I talked about this on some lives, will enter a room and the light bulb will blow out, right? And I say it's because your energy is so high. Look at this. If you're a noble gas and that's a noble gas and they're combining, what's happening, right? Essentially. Okay, let me reel it back. So I broke down all of those 6 noble gases and what they do, okay? All of these things have to do with ascension, light, radiation, energy, right? What does that sound like? So I wrote this. The spiritual beings, the chosen ones, are the true light workers. True ascension, true higher frequency beings, true energy workers. You are noble gases. You behave like noble gases, right? Okay. Side note, this also explains this huge trending twin flame topic that's happening, and I have not done a video yet. I'm going to take some time with that. But again, I say don't believe the hype, because there's a lot of stuff about twin. Everyone does not have a twin flame. There's a lot of information about twin flames that is incorrect, but noble gases basically explain the dynamic of a twin flame, because in order to combine with each other, noble gases, you have to know who you are first. You have to know that you are fully complete. Once you are fully complete, then that photon light happens, and then you start to attract the other, right? Otherwise, you're still living in this world of not knowing that you're a noble gas. You think you're a regular element. And so you behave like a regular element. And how do regular elements behave, right? Regular elements do this. They're codependent. They need each other, right? You don't know how powerful you are, right? So you're trying to be like the regular elements, and you are this, okay? So that's a whole nother topic that I won't get into right now. Okay. Let's go back to the superheroes. Again, superheroes, they all had to connect to who they were first. They formed a team and became stronger. Why? Why do you need to get with each other? Why do you need to form a team and become stronger, right? Why did is it X-Men? I don't know. X-Men Avengers. Why did they have to form to become the Avengers? Or the X-Men? Why did they form and become the X-Men, right? Why? Because they had a mission. Because individually they had missions, but as a unit they had a mission. The soul family is here on mission. There's a job that you have to do, okay? And we don't do it in solitude. as much as you need me, I need you. I need you to be on task. I need you to know who you are. I need you to do your inner work so that you can be in your power, so that you can assist me, so that we can ascend, so we can get off of this 3D plane. Okay? All right. So let's go over this. Remember, you are not supposed to do this alone. Do not do this alone. You're not supposed to, right? If you were hit by this photon electromagnetic energy, right? Or if you woke up, if you're aware, if you see truth for what it really is, right? First thing you need to do, find out who you really are. This is this year's energy, this 2020, this 4-year energy's work. You have to go within yourself to find out who you are. Why am I here? What am I doing? Okay? Is it going to be easy? It's going to be challenging, but you know it's going to be challenging. And you know that with each challenge, you are able to overcome it if you are on your path, especially if you are with your soul family members, because they will help you. Literally this week, when I first started channeling the information, it was a Wednesday. And I was sitting on my bed and I was so overwhelmed, and I said, my human brain cannot take all of this information. What am I supposed to do with it? I promise you, my godmother texted me. My teacher texted me. The new teacher that I just met texted me same day. And 2 soul sisters on Instagram said, hey, Melanie, I just want to send you some love. And that meant everything to me. And I said, okay, I can deal with this. I can handle this. I can handle all this information. Let me start writing notes. Let me start taking this down. Let me start doing whatever it is I'm supposed to do. And as I started doing that, that's when the noble gas information came to me. It all came together. But I needed support from my soul family members. The thing is that they didn't even know that that was happening to me. Okay? So that is why we need each other at this time to do this work, to go inside. You going inside, doing your inner work, doing your inner child work is no joke. The reason why you as adults have to do that is because you hid it for so long. You didn't want to deal with it for so long. You put it in the box, tape that box up, put it at the back of your closet, and was like, I'll deal with it later. 5 years went by, 10 years went by, 20 years went by. You still didn't deal with it. And this year you have to deal with it. And when it comes to surface, it's not going to be easy. So you're going to need those around you that are vibrating with you, your soul family members, to support you through this. When I went to the reading a couple weeks ago, the first shaman, I forgot her name, she said that this year a lot of people would be, what is the word she used? Mental instability. There'll be a lot of people with mental instability. She said, beware of that. And it's true. Okay? So make sure that you are connecting. But remember what I told you. Don't go after the soothsayers, as what the Book of Secrets says, the soothsayers. The ones who's going to just, just pray about it. Or just, light a candle and spin around 3 times and it'll be easy. Whatever. Don't go to those who are always doing tarot decks, and every time they do it, it's like, good things are coming, great things are coming, everything's gonna be good, everything. Just, no, you have to do work, guys, okay? Don't start learning and feeding off of those who are making you scared and fearful, like, oh, the world's about to end, and this country, and yada, 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 and Iran, and Korea, and that's not what you're supposed to be doing right now. You're supposed to be going within and dealing with that, okay? Connect to your soul family. You don't know who your soul family is? Again, meditate. When you meditate, you say, this is what you say, this is what I said. I am attracting my soul family to me, and my soul family is attracting me to them. I said that at the beginning of last year. And that's what happened. Okay. Okay. Again, you're not meant to do this alone. I proved it, right? I showed you, I proved scientifically why you're not meant to do this alone. Okay. Again, I'm talking to my soul family. Okay. You guys are the true light workers. The true light workers. You are the definition of light workers. You are the definition of energy healers. Okay? Use the noble gases as the correlation to who you are. And a light worker, just like a noble gas, it needs other light workers to build and to share. And then once it builds, it shares. Okay? All right. So I'm so excited to have been able to share this with you guys. Please leave comments below. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below. If you have a simple question, leave it below. If you have a more private question, you can email me at thespiritdoula@gmail.com. If you are like, Melanie, I feel lost. I need help. I don't know what my soul mission is. These things are happening to me. You just need some spiritual guidance. You can go to my website, thespiritdoula@thespiritdoula.com. Go to my website. I'm going to have the links below and schedule a consultation. This is, listen guys, I had a consultation last week and it put me on the right path for this year. We need this. We need teachers. We need the support. Okay? And we need knowledgeable people that can give you what you need. I had to go to someone who was knowledgeable because I had information, but I didn't really have, I needed a good trajectory. And he was able to say, this is it. This is how you do it. This is what you do this year. Okay? You need that. So schedule a consultation. There are some really amazing teachers on here. Schedule a consultation with them, whoever resonates with you. Okay? You need the support. You need the guidance. All right? Please like the video. Please share it with anyone that you think this may resonate with. All right? Again, I love you all. I love you, my soul family. I'm so excited that we are connecting with each other. And I'm so excited to see what this year is going to be. All right? Remember, you are loved, you are guided, you are protected. All right? Love you all. Bye.